Hello, welcome to arcademoica, vlog number 15 on the Bally Doctor Who pinball restoration. Oh yeah, and we are tackling the famous and famous, that's how I like to call it, mini Playfield. And just this afternoon I was waiting for my girlfriend to come back with the grocery and everything, and it took a lot more longer than I thought, so I was like, oh, I'm just gonna clean that part for a while. And actually it took about 1 hour for her to get back home, so I had the time to clean all this incredible metal bracket. Look how shiny, clean, and not afraid to touch it is. I also cleaned the opto, the bracket, some stuff. And just as a comparison, this is how this bracket was looking like just not so long ago. So yeah, it was pretty dirty, filthy, greasy. And this one is about to look exactly the same pretty soon, as well as the motor. I've been doing some grocery and shopping for little screws. And with that, I will be doing the installation of all the parts that are underneath this canopy and put it on the new one. So this will wait for a while until I get the canopy done, and I don't have the tools to do the rivets. I was hoping to find some rivets at my favorite hardware store, but couldn't find any. But I find just the right size of little screws with the little locking nut that goes with it, and he only had 36 left. That's a funny little hardware store, because you are kind of obliged to buy for at least 10 bucks in order to purchase something. They don't allow you to go out without purchasing for lower than 10 bucks. So I got those little nuts here, and this is gonna do the job perfectly well. There will be a little Phillips design on the top instead of rivets, but that's a compromise to do right now in order to have a fully, look at that, look how what good it's gonna make to have this done. And also I'm gonna make a lot of little soldering, fix that cable. It's gonna do a lot of help. So my battery is turning pretty low on my phone right now. I'm gonna put it on charge, so when I will be back up, I will be pretty well, thing will go pretty well for that. Yeah, check it out. I really love the shiny new look of those screws. There's no way you can tell that it was supposed to be rivets, because look, it's look very cool. I put the sticker on. This is a repro sticker. It looks pretty good, real nice. There is some little bit of kind of halftone pattern to create the pale gray. Also, the width of the sticker is maybe 1 millimeter short from one side. I tried to put that one as close as possible to the edge, but there's still a little bit of sticker hanging out. So yeah, it's not a perfect repro, but when you took a look at it like that, it does it. It's perfect. Also, this repro NOS, repro and NOS, yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is a repro canopy because it's a little bit thicker than the original one. It's maybe 1.5 millimeters thicker, so it doesn't have that much leeway as the other one to put the screw on. You don't have as much thread, and also it's pretty difficult to have all 6 of the screw socket to fit perfectly aligned. Right now I kind of adjust them a lot, and I manage to have them all fitting to the new canopy. I'm not gonna put it on right now though. I will put this one aside, because since I will be moving the Playfield a lot, I will keep this for the end after a second thought. So I don't want anything to happen to this, so I'm gonna put it on a nice little resting flower box. And there was some cleaning going on too. Look at this, it's just as shiny as his bigger brother. Every little bearing and E-clip have been cleaned too. Wow, it feels so good. And I'm about to do the same to the motor. Check, look at that goose spot. It's kind of fascinating. And I will also be doing the new solder to the motor. I mean, it's kind of very dull gray and huge amount of solder has been used, so I'm gonna clean this out. I'm also gonna put some shrink tube on it. So I made new connection, resoldered and made them pretty clean on the mortar lugs. I also put some shrink wrap on them, so right now they are pretty strong. I'm happy with the look of all that, and I'm mostly done with the kick-out holes. Both assembly have been cleaned. I went pretty frenzy on the tie wrap motion, so right now everything is pretty titty up. I'm left to put the new sticker on that one. I've been clean of every residue. The only real part, and not just me being quite OCD right now, is I don't really love how this wire have been extended and mixed up. So I'm gonna do a nice cleanup of all that and put a new sticker, and I will be ready for the assembly. I can say that I'm pretty glad with how this is turning out. This mini playfield is looking great. Love it. Love it real much. I installed the first metal bracket, the inner one, the one that goes on the mini playfield. I had to remove the coil kicker because I will have to have access from behind when I will be putting that metal bracket afterward. I just want to show you quickly how you put back the metal bracket, the external one, on the internal one, because you have to put the bearing, the little washer here, the grooved washer, first here, and I go simply with an angle like that, and when it's done you can put, and also notice that you put the thicker part on the inside like that. I think this will be useful for in the future for many people, because I've been tampering with that for a while now. You actually make the bracket as far as possible, you open it just a little, and then you're able to slide it into place just like that. Also note that I put some silicone lubricant on every part beforehand, because you don't want to realize you need to put lubricant when it's all installed. Okay, so now that this is done, I will be able to put the metal bracket. There is so many things to take in consideration, because right now I could be putting the motor that goes like this, and the little protruding metal part here is actually going inside the groove. And only when this is done you can put the metal bracket that close both sides. And also when this is done you are able to put the up toes, and you have the black one that goes on the front, where there's the target, and the white one will be put afterward from the interior, and you will use those two holes here to be able to reach the screw and screw the up toe. Hello, I'm Mr. Macy. Look at me. I'm tempted to do a test with the 9-volt battery. Yeah, it's working. Please excuse that 9-volt batteries that I've seen better days. But it's working. Working. Feels good. Feels really good. It looks amazing. It looks brand new to me. Here comes the target. That I love those targets. So it has been tampered with before. It has a lot of electrical tape going on all around it. And we'll see what this is hiding. And if there could be a way to make it just a little bit more elegant. But I feel like originally there was actually only a cardboard cover all around that. Look at that, it's only a cardboard cover and it's auto-destructing itself when I remove the tape. That's not the cleanest thing I've seen. You know how OCD I am about cleaning stuff. Wanting to be perfect. Okay. And there seems to be some wooden spacer that have been applied and glued on. What? Because I have a new set of optos to put on there. Because something tells me that the opto from the mechanism here, even though it was kind of covered with grease, it was still working. Because otherwise I would not have been able to play the game. But there is definitely an opto error coming when you open the game, coming from the mini Playfield area. And this opto series here could be the culprit. And I have a spare set, but maybe it was simply dirty or a wire got loose. I don't know. I'm removing the extremely well thought card paper cover. What the shrapnel in the knees were they thinking of putting a cardboard? And you cannot actually kind of remove it. So yeah, there's definitely some opto that have been changed here, because some of them are white and others are amber. So I'm tempted, since I haven't them on hand, to not fuss around too much with that and simply remove them and put the new one. That's where we're heading to. Oh, and also, wooden spacers with hot glue. Crafting. Why? It's a very simple mechanism. It's simply the little protruding plastic part here that interrupt the signal between the optos. Pretty clever. Not surprisingly, there's a lot of work to be done on the little target here. I'm done doing the installation of the new opto PCB, and I also made a new cardboard piece with strong Bainbridge, because the way it's gonna end up, I'm not gonna be putting electrical tape like the previous user did, but it made me realize one thing. Okay, this particular piece of wood here is bented, and I understand why some piece of wood have been put just to keep the space large enough. But here we have 20 millimeters, and here we have about 18.5 millimeters, and that's enough for the target to actually hit on the opto. Okay, so sometimes it gets stuck, and that's a no-go. We have to do, look at that. Okay, it actually stop on it. So what I'm gonna have to do is remove the whole balsa piece of wood of 18-19 millimeters, and I prepare myself new ones of 20 millimeters, and that will give the exact great width required to prevent any blocking of the target movement. And now it's very tight and titty. Oh, I may need to remove about 2 millimeters. It's protruding just a little too much here. I don't know. It may affect the piece of cardboard, but. And I will use cyanoacrylate glue instead of hot glue. I don't like hot glue at all. That looks much better. So let's see how it's turning out when we put the no more hitting. So yeah, that was the millimeter required for a great movement. I love it. Perfect. Once installed, it looks real nice and real cool. Perfectly soft. I love those buttons. I will say it every time I have the opportunity to say so. About this little spot here, I will be painting it real soon with my Corostop Ultra Yellow paint. I may have to add some orange just to make it a perfect fit to that, but I will do that at the end because this is a paint that take a long time to dry, so this will dry overnight when I'm done. Final stretch of the mini Playfield, the how you can call this module, the little sliding, the water slide, the ball slides. Okay, so this will be buffed, polished, clean, everything you want to remove all this hammered finish as well as here. And new repro stickers have been applied already by a previous owner without removing the old one. And I have repro here that looks a little bit better. The black outline is less thick, so we can see more details. It does not have the part number, and I don't think it's a big problem. So I will be removing this and apply the new one, so check it out. Well, here we are with module finally completely assembled. Brand new stickers. Remove most of the hammer style on the plate. I removed a lot of it, but it's pretty pitted. There's some kind of limit. I can send it to the bare metal. Oh, I just painted the little piece of yellow here and actually managed to put some paint on the side. Okay, so yeah, I painted I put a first coat of yellow, and the match is pretty awesome. It hasn't dried yet, so it will get a bit darker. We'll wait for it to dry and we'll apply maybe 2 or 3 more coat. As you can see, this paint is pretty glossy too, so I think because I really want to keep them yellow. After second thoughts, it had a lot of jazz to the to the elevator. Gray was pretty dull, and I think yellow is a great color mix for that, so I want to keep them that way. This part is just tight loose like that. This is the part that actually activates the lever here. I will not be tightening it yet. This goes underneath the Playfield, but I just don't want to lose it. I will not be installing the mini elevator right now. Also, I need to mention that I had some problem installing this part. The piece of cardboard that I put to hold the target in place was having too much width, and I had to put some a very thin washer so it doesn't crush the assembly here. I also make some perforation on the cardboard to let the screw through, because with the PCB, the cardboard and the screw, that was just too much. It couldn't have fit. So I put double-sided tape on the cardboard to hold it in place. Then I put the screw, and like that I have minimal height of the module and give me enough leeway to put it in place. I don't think the washer will affect the passing of the ball, because when it's raised up, actually the washer only affects the third level, and when the ball will go through, I'm 100% confident that the ball will go through perfectly. I also put the canopy on. I tried to and managed to find matching screws here. They were not matching. Also, you see the height of the, as I talked earlier, is so thick. I almost have no thread at all to screw the bolt on. So I had to be very precautious to install it and hold it in place. I know it's a good move to have thicker repro canopy for in order to be stronger, but it's a problem when it comes to screwing it down. What's left to say about this, unless that once again this was a very ambitious module to put on a pinball machine, but I think it adds a lot of entertainment to the game, and it's the kind of challenge that I really love working on. I'm extremely satisfied of the final product. It looks brand new to me, and I'm very eager to see it in action. But yeah, it's challenging, but I love it. This is why I'm doing this job, for that kind of challenge. Okay, so that's about it for vlog number 15. Sorry if it was a very long vlog. I wanted to address every possible issue with this module because I know that many people have problems with it. So I really hope that this vlog will be a reference for future people that will have to work on this piece of hardware. So stay tuned, like, share, subscribe, and comments. Yeah, comments. What do you think? You like it? See you soon. Bye.